Namaste, this is Urban Yogi and welcome to my video. This is an introductory video for my new channel, Urban Yogi, the Soul Coach. Uh, I will introduce myself to begin with. My name is Sudesh. I am an Indian living in United Kingdom. I live in Manchester in Northern England and I am a pediatrician by profession. I've been living in UK for last 16 years and I have been inspired to do this channel as a source of information for a yogic living in an urban area. My belief is that for a spiritual yogic living, you don't have to be a hermit, you don't have to be an ascetic. You can be what you want to, live in a city, still can lead a meaningful spiritual life. On that principle, I have started this new web-based portal called Urban Yogi. I've got a Facebook of the same name, and then of course I've got a YouTube channel with the same name. I will start my Instagram and Twitter with the same name. All I'm going to do is, as I am exploring the spirituality, I'm going to share my experience and knowledge with the world. Just a background. I had my spiritual awakening almost a year ago, more than a year ago. This is a lot to do with me meeting my twin flame. Prior to that, even though I was born in a very conservative background in southern India and raised up as a very conservative Hindu boy, I came to United Kingdom 16 years ago and then I started exploring. I am a gay man and I started exploring my sexuality. As I explored that aspect of my life, I was drawn into too much into the party life, and in my 20s and 30s I concentrated more on my party life with relationships and whatnot. And then boom, this happened that I met someone who I recognized as my twin flame, and following which I had my spiritual awakening. Now, when you meet your twin flame, there is always one of the soul becomes spiritually awakened, and other soul gets quite intimidated by and overwhelmed by the whole connection and runs away. But the awakened, enlightened soul explores spirituality, and that's what I did. I looked for a lot of spiritual sources myself, and I realized none of them were in entirety, not as I would like them to be. So that point I realized, when you can't find one, you be one. So that's what this is all about. So I floated this web-based portal called Urban Yogi. Before that, I have another channel called Urban Spiritualist, through which I do quite a lot of spiritual and tarot oracle reading, but I gave that more towards the twin flame fraternity or twin flame community. And then I realized my knowledge is beyond just a twin flame fraternity. It is for the entire world. Whatever I'm exploring, whatever I'm learning, it is not just for me, it is for the entire world. So I thought I will get this portal started, and here I am. And this is my first video on this portal, and I thought I'll make it as an introduction video. Now, a lot of people did ask me why yogi. Now, in Western world, this term yogi is very wrongly used, and that is my pet hate. I'm sorry about that. People use yogi for all those people who practice yoga. Yoga, when they say it's yogasana, it is just postures and bending your body. Now, I did read a very interesting sentence. If we were supposed to call all those people yogi, then the best yogis in the world are in the circus. So I believe that. I do believe that yoga is or yogi is derived from the word yoga, or the person who practices yoga. Now, yoga doesn't mean yogasana. Yogasana is only 10% or an aspect of it. Yogi lives a much more ascetic, meaningful life. Yogi is someone who leads a meaningful life, and that is the word it is used for. At least it is meant to be used for that way. So yogi is the person who leads a meaningful life. Literal meaning in Sanskrit, and forgot to mention, I'm a Sanskrit enthusiast and I read a lot in Sanskrit. I learned Sanskrit, and Sanskrit used to be my first language in school. And that's the reason why my pronunciation is very Indian, because it is all Sanskrit based, or Samskrita based. Now, yogi, coming back to word yogi or yoga, is to enhance or to add. So you have enhanced your life with meaning. So that is the zest of yoga. So when I say yogi, it would include other aspects of yogi or yoga, which is not necessarily ascetic living, a meaningful living, and that includes a spiritualism. That would include even a meditation. Meditation is a major part of it. Spiritualism, of course, thoughts, soul searching, and then, as I mentioned, yogasana, as that is the exercise. Again, that is the part of being a yogi, but it is not the only part of being yogi. And the fourth one is pranayama, the breathing exercises. Fifth, mudra shastra. Sixth, jyotisha, astrology, which I don't practice, but I am intending to learn that in future. And ayurveda, that is the traditional herbal medicine. Rasayana, which is the traditional Indian cooking, not as we see in these Indian restaurant, but the traditional Indian cooking is supposed to be geared according to the medicinal value and the ascetic, the meaning of living. So people, the eating habits is a part of the enhancement of life. So healthy eating, again, a part of it. And then knowledge, jnana, which is knowledge. I am reading a lot. As I read, I'm learning new things. I'm going back and reading the same thing what I read in childhood, but now the whole understanding and perspective is different. So I'm feeling that difference. And I'm learning new things, and I'm learning new meanings to the old things. So these things I want to share with you. I want to share with you in the form of thoughts, in the form of blogs, in the form of vlogs. Vlog are the video logs. And then, of course, I would like to include a little session for our little friends. A pediatrician in me wants to do that. Is a mythology storytelling for children. This again came as a request from my lovely niece Sanchi. Sanchi, if you're watching this section is exclusively for you and people like you and your friends, where I'm going to talk about Indian mythology for children. Traditionally the way the Indian mythology was told to the children. These days they do get cartoons and comics and whatnot. But I grew up listening to these things from my grandmother and from my uncle and from my grandfather, and they did tell these stories with their own experiences and adding to that So again, I want to bring back that sort of storytelling. So I'm going to include that section as well. And then there will be a Bhagavad Gita, a Mahabharata, and Puranas. These days I'm reading quite a lot of Puranas, and as I'm reading, I'm discovering new aspects, new stories, new morals, new morals, and new ethics, and those aspects I want to share with you. Then I want to share with you the Sanskrit language, because I'm learning new shlokas, new verses, new sayings, new and new the traditional ones, but with the new meaning. So I'm going to do that, and this is a sort of a documentation for me as well. On other hand, this I'm going to collect this eventually and try to bring it out as a multimedia publication, maybe a book in future, if the universe willing. So here I am, the urban yogi, the soul coach. Yeah, the soul coach name can be quite deceptive. I'm not going to do any one-to-one basis teaching here or healing here. Yeah, yes, I am a healer. I've got another portal called Urban Spiritualist, through which I heal people. So you can contact me there. But this portal is exclusively a sort of documentation about me discovering myself, my soul searching, and my world, which I want to share it with you. And in meantime, I may heal you collectively and uh, enlighten you, so inspire you. So that is the whole point of this channel. So thank you for subscribing me. If you have not, please do, as I post my new videos, which I'm hoping to do a few in a week. I'm not going to keep myself um, a time frame or a timetable, because considering my busy job, that's going to be difficult. But I'm going to be as regular as possible in posting these videos, and eventually I'm sure that something will pan out, or something will evolve out of it all, so that we can have a sort of a uniformity, or a timetable in bringing out these videos. So on that note, namaste and dhanyavad.